Welcome to the spring 2011 semester, and I'd like to tell you that I know that this is an unusual way to greet you. Normally I send out an email that has in it the course requirements as far as the supplies that you'll need for the first day of class, as well as some guidelines for the course. But I'm trying something different. I'm embracing technology, we'll say. I'm Professor Gair. Welcome to Literature and Multimedia of the Holocaust, Literature 2174. If you've signed up for my class, then you'll be seeing me for the first time next week on Tuesday, starting on Tuesday and Thursday, either at 2:30 till 3:45 or the 5:30 to 6:45 class, whichever class you're in. Today is January the 3rd, so classes start next week. I want to go over a couple of things first of all. Let me talk about the supplies you'll need for class, because that's always something that people ask me right away. They send me emails, what do I need the first day? Well, let me show you the books that you're going to need the very first day, so you can get them before the first day of class. The main textbook, and I'll explain why there's more than one textbook. The main textbook is this book, A History of the Holocaust by Yehuda Bauer. And I implore you, beg you, please, do not buy it on the internet. Get this revised edition, okay? A History of the Holocaust by Yehuda Bauer. The second book you want to get is Images from the Holocaust, a literature anthology. Images from the Holocaust, a literature anthology. They're both in the East Campus bookstore. The next book you need to have, I don't have a copy of here. I'm home on vacation like you. And it's called I Never Saw Another Butterfly, the artwork and poetry of the children of the Terezin concentration camp. I'll repeat that again. I Never Saw Another Butterfly, the poetry and artwork of the children of Terezin concentration camp. And then the last thing you'll need is a resource packet, which is sold in the bookstore. And it looks pretty much like this packet I'm showing you, this cover I'm showing you here. All right. Notice mine's in a loose leaf. You'll buy yours as the contents of the loose leaf. And what I'd like you to do is you'll notice it has it has dividers, divided sections by topic, by unit. And so all I'm going to ask you to do is when you purchase it, go through, find the cover page for each unit, and buy yourself a set of Avery tab dividers and tab it and set it up for the first day of class. So you can see that the first unit we're going to be studying, Unit 1, is Genocide and the Holocaust, Unit 1. And so you're going to put a tab divider next to that unit. Okay? And so that the whole book will be tabbed and you'll have it like this as a resource guide. You only have to bring this in for one class a week, and that'll be the Tuesday class. But it is a very important reference book. It's not put out by any publisher. It's put out by me. I'm the publisher, I guess you could say. It's a collection of articles, research, charts, diagrams, maps, survivor testimony, just a whole array of research articles and essays, poetry, and things of that nature that tie in with each topic that we'll be studying as the weeks go through the course. Another thing that's important is attendance. It's in your syllabus packet, which you'll be getting, and the syllabus packet will have all your assignments laid out for you, and that'll also be posted on WebCT, which is now Blackboard. If you've used WebCT before, we're going over to Blackboard now, which is a new, much more user-friendly system, and I'll be using Blackboard online for some parts of the course. But you'll get a syllabus packet with all the assignments, projects, that you have, due dates for everything, what's due each week, what's due long term, and so forth, so you can keep yourself organized. The attendance policy is in there, but I'm telling you right here and now, the attendance policy is very, very important to be aware of. The department policy is if you miss 150 minutes of class, that's 2 classes, you will be dropped upon the 3rd absence. So you can miss up to 2 classes. On the 3rd class that you miss, you will be dropped that very day. And so you don't want to miss class. And that starts with the first day. The first day counts. Every once in a while I run into a student who has this notion that, well, I didn't think the first day counted. Well, and I always say to them, well, if you try that on a job, boss hires you and says, you know, Mrs. Jones or Mr. Jones, I like your qualifications and I think you're good for the job, and you know, start Monday, and you walk in Tuesday and he says to you, well, where were you yesterday? And you say, well, I didn't think the first day counted. I don't think you're going to be holding that job very long. Okay, I'm trying to keep this video to 10 minutes, and so we'll see if we can. This is going to be one of the most emotional learning experiences that you have ever embarked on. This will be a course that will change your life. Teaching the Holocaust has changed my life. Talking about it puts me in a completely different mental framework, as I think you can tell already, because it's a passion of mine. It's a blessing that I've been given. It's a calling that I feel I've been given to bring the story of the Holocaust to the next generation. And as long as I have a breath left in me and the ability to stand in front of a classroom, as I've done for 33 years now, then that's what I feel I've been called to do, and that is try and bring you, my students, the story of what happens when madness takes over the world, when the world goes crazy because of hatred and discrimination. So it's a very serious topic. And sometimes it will test you emotionally. This is the one course where I tell students, you know, it's okay to get teared up. It's okay to have tissues in class in case you cry upon reading a certain selection or watching a certain video. It just shows you're human. You know, I get very emotional when I talk about my very first experience, the first time I went to a concentration camp and visited a gas chamber or a crematorium at Auschwitz. It's something that it's seared into my mind and I'll never forget, which, by the way, I need to remind you that taking this course makes you eligible to apply to go on the study abroad trip to Poland. The trip is already pretty full, but we still have some openings. We're going June 22nd to June 30th, or July 1st, I have to check the dates, to Poland for 8 days. So far, 13 students have signed up for the trip, and it's going to be an awesome trip. We're going to be spending 4 days in Warsaw, 4 days in Krakow, and from those two locations, we'll be visiting all the major historic sites that have to do with the Holocaust, where the Jewish culture thrived, where it ended in Auschwitz, Majdanek, and Treblinka. We'll be visiting 3 concentration camps on the trip. And it's a 3-credit course, by the way. We'll talk more about that as the progression of the semester comes on. What my approach to the course will be is to teach you the story of the Holocaust with the backdrop of the history book through the experiences of people who were there. Survivors, people who have written essays, poetries, scholars. I've spent the past 4 years traveling each summer to Israel, to the World Center for Holocaust Research, Education, Study, and Collection of Material, and that is a place called Yad Vashem in the holy city of Jerusalem. It's almost an annual rite for me to go there. And I go there to either go to school, where I've gone for a couple of summers, to do independent study and research, as I did last summer. I spent a number of days there, a couple of weeks actually. I was there for 5 weeks, and between that and doing some volunteer work with the Israeli army, which I do while I'm there. and also attending Holocaust educators conferences there and presenting there. I've been very fortunate to have had that opportunity to go there and study the past few years. And I hope that I can bring all the knowledge that I have to you in a short semester. I am always very frustrated by the end of the semester. There never seems to be enough time to finish all the topics that I need another semester. At the end of the semester, I need another semester to finish the topics that I never got to or never got much depth into. And you'll see why. There's a lot here. Students come into this course thinking, oh, well, how could they have a whole course about the Holocaust? And they leave saying, oh my goodness, I didn't know there was so much information to know about this one event. And I need another course in it because we just scratched the surface in a whole semester. And I will be teaching it to you through a mixture of the backdrop of history, through the literature, to put a face. You'll hear me say this very often. My goal is to put a face on the Holocaust so that when you're done studying this, at all times, you will always remember that every horrific event and incident you read about and study about happened to a person just like you, myself, your parents, your children, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. Putting a face on the Holocaust, personalizing it. 1.5 million little children perished in the Holocaust for no other reason than what religion they were a part of. Just like the 6 million Jews in total and the 5 million other victims, which we will learn about. It's the most documented case of mass murder organized by a governmental body in the history of the earth. And there's going to come a time when there'll no longer be any survivors left to tell the story of what happened there. And only through the video testimonies that I'll be showing you and the archives and the records we have will we know. And that's why it's important also that I will be bringing a Holocaust survivor to class at the end of the semester, one of our last classes. Towards the end, I will be bringing a lady by the name of Helen Greenspun into class, and she will be giving her story in person here in our classroom, telling you what it was like to be in the Holocaust and in a concentration camp. So we'll get into a lot of things, and for right now I'm going to just kind of sign off. I probably went over the 10 minutes, but that's me. I don't think I've ever spoken for 10 minutes on anything in my life. And of course this topic I could talk for hours on end. So bring your emotions with you. Leave your cell phones at the door. Bring your emotions and your open minds and your open hearts with you to my class. And I said cell phones at the door. Shut them off before you walk in the room. If you ever want to make me upset, that's the way to do it. And you also want to get a 0 for a class session, or have points taken off a major project or something. That's a good way to get me really ticked off, is have your cell phone ringing in class. Turn it off. Mine is turned off if it's with me, but it's almost never with me. I always leave it on my desk when I go to class. There's no reason in the world for you or I to have a phone ringing while we're in class learning. It's a learning environment, not a social environment. And so bring an open mind, as I said to you. Be willing to question the behaviors of your fellow human beings, and hopefully bring an open heart so that you can see into the stories of the victims of the Holocaust and realize that every story, every one of the 6 million was a person. One person at a time added up to the 6 million. You know, when we think about a number like 6 million, we really don't understand what 6 million of anything is. I'll never see 6 million of anything in my life, and probably the same for you. So when we say 6 million, whether I said there were 6 million victims or 3 million or 7 million, it becomes a numbing number in one's mind. And it only takes on its significance when you realize that that 6 million number was reached one individual at a time. Every one of those, 1, 2, 3, up to the 6 million, were murdered for the only reason that they practiced the Jewish religion. And 5 million other people because they didn't fit what the Nazis felt was their definition of perfect human beings, a master race. So bring your open hearts, your open minds, and your supplies with you, of course. Please don't be late for class. I am so thrilled and honored to have you in my class. As I say, I feel it's my privilege to be able to stand in front of you twice a week and bring you the story of the Holocaust so that someday you'll be able to stand up when you recognize and see evil in the world and say, no, I'm not going to sit by and let it happen like the rest of the world did during the Holocaust. I thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in class. And as we say in Hebrew, Shalom, peace, and I will see you on Tuesday. Thank you very much.